I've showed gravity separation in quite a few videos, but I also get questions, so obviously I haven't showed it enough. I get questions about the floaty stuff on top, and do I need to use dishwashing liquid? There are some times when I use it, sometimes I don't need to. Because I use such a big bucket, I actually put it on jet and really force the water down into all the sediment, and it most times forces the hydrophobic stuff to mix with water. I'll show you what I mean. And if it doesn't, if there is still some floaty stuff at the top, then I will put a bit of dishwashing stuff, but most times I don't need to. See how it's all spitting up the sides? That's why I use a bucket, so I know that it's not going to overflow, spit out of the bucket. All the sediment right now would be actually stirred up, moving around. It wouldn't be all sitting in the bottom, it would be all in suspension. And now that it's close to the top, I'll put it on the shower so I don't lose any of it out of the bucket. All I'm doing now is working on the stuff that's floating and the mozzies are getting me. So there is some oily stuff on top, but I can't see any metal. There's no chunks of anything. And I can just see fine ash. A little bit of grass that came off the sprinkler thing, because I had grass all stuck in it, so I can see a little bit of grass, but there's just like an oily substance and super fine ash, the light stuff which will be poured off anyway. I can't see any metal in there, so I generally don't feel that there's a need to. Some of you will probably complain and say I should, and some of you are going to say, what does it hurt to do it anyway? Well, you're probably right, probably nothing. So to please everybody, I will go and put a drop in, even though I don't feel necessary. I'll go and get it and I'll be back. Alright, so I'll just put a tiny bit. See, it's all gone to the outside, but it's still there anyway, so I can't see a difference between not putting it in or putting it in. It hasn't sunk or anything. So I just make sure that there's no heavy chunks. It's all the light stuff that's sitting on the edge, that's all it is. So I want to get rid of that anyway. So now I pour this off. Pretty heavy to lift up, I'll put a bit too much in. So I pour just a bit over half, not well, about 3/4, so that the heavy stuff wasn't coming out. It was just a liquid. Rinse all this down. and then I go again with the jet. So let it sit for a few minutes. Again, all I can see is grass and ash. I don't see a couple of bubbles there. I don't see anything heavy. See the grass that's sticking to the tap. So I just let it sit for what's been 10-20 seconds. So anything heavy would definitely have sunk by now. And then I can pour off the ash. I always use the second bucket I'm pouring into, so that anything that does come over, it'll go into that bucket. So I don't usually find anything goes in there except the ash. I'll stop there, and I just rinse and repeat. I do this over and over and over and over until the water is clear. I'll show you one more time, and then I'll just do the rest off camera. I don't see anything floating on top. Bit of grass there. Some of the ash. Now that the bubbles have gone away, I can see a bit of ash. But there's nothing heavy, there's no chunks of anything. can see the coarse sediment down there. And there's still a lot of ash coming off. You can see the fine ash sitting on top of all the coarse sediment, so it all has to go. You can still see it settling on the bucket. I won't get the water clear until I get rid of all the ash. So I'll carry on and be back when I'm done. So I don't know if you can see this properly. These are all the clips so far for this video. I'm trying to sort them all, take more footage off my camera as I do it, and I label them all numbers so I know what frame's what. Now this one here that's got the play symbol, this one right here, when I try and play it, it comes up down here with you can't play this because the file type is unsupported, the file extension is incorrect or could be corrupt. I don't know how to get past that. Every time I try and play it, it could be corrupt. So I'm not computer savvy. I don't know what I can do about that. I don't know where the footage has gone. Usually what I do is I cut the footage from the camera and put it in a file. So this one's a file for FLATPACKS, okay? So basically what I'm going to do is I have to skip this one out and show you guys that in this one here I was doing a gravity separation, okay, and then it's going to jump straight across to where I put it in AP, and you'll see here made a hell of a mess. Alright, so you're wondering what's going on, how come it's missing, that's why. So now we're going to go straight from the gravity separation to the mess of AP. Major catastrophe. I had a massive, I can't even say boil over because it's not boiling, massive overflow. Luckily I put it in a pan, but there was some on the table, and so that was empty. I've poured some more of this into it and it's starting to overflow again, or it looks like it's going to. And to be honest, I have no idea why it's foaming up like that. I thought maybe it was because of the air stone, but I don't think that's possible because I've used air stones before without any problem. And I think I have one more beaker that's bigger than this. I don't know, I've got a whole pile of them inside ready to wash. I'm going to bring that out if it is bigger, or even if it's not, I need to swap them over somehow. So just to find out, I'll take the air stone off, see if it makes a difference. Failing that, I don't know what else to do. I know that it has to be aerated, and the AP was doing it before we even turned the air on, so I don't know. But I'm going to have to just keep putting AP in there as it empties. If it overflows, it overflows, clean it up. I can't do anything else, I don't know what else to do. So all this here in the dish will have to be poured back into this vessel. And all this foam stuff on the outside, I don't know where you can see it's all on the outside. I'll pick it up with paper towel and go in my storage in case there's gold flakes amongst it. It could very well be. There's still some on the table here, or at the back here. So it's a mess. And and I show everything in my videos. So I'll swap this over to another beaker. So it is now slightly bigger. I think it's another litre bigger or so. So I'll transfer everything from here into that, clean up the mess with paper towel, and hopefully continue without any problems. Well, I put the air hose back in without the stone on it, and it's still bubbled up. So before it overflowed, I took the hose out. I don't seem to have a whole lot of choice except to not have air in there. I don't know why it's doing it. No one else ever has this problem. I don't believe I lost any gold because all the sediment was baked hard in the bottom. How, I don't know. But that's one of the reasons I don't like using AP, because it happens to me all the time. All the sediment just goes rock hard in the bottom. It took me quite a while to get it out. So it wasn't free to move around, so I don't think I lost any gold. I was able to sort of crumble it up in my hands as I put it back in here, and you can see now it's not bubbling anymore. I've got no choice but to just leave the air out. So I've got to finish cleaning up here, clean up the table, clean up this pan, clean out the outside of this, put it all back in there, and still some powder over here. Try and clean up a bit and then let it carry on without air. That's all I can do. All I can think of is that it's been ridiculously hot. Today is 39, which is over 100 degrees Fahrenheit. It's our 10th straight day over 30, which wouldn't mean much if it was summer. We normally get days in the 40s, but it's not even summer yet. And we've just broken a record. It hasn't been this hot in November since 1915. And I would say the heat has something to do with why this was bubbling over. But I've never ever had success with AP when doing pins and things like that. Every single time I try, it just bakes hard in the bottom. Not bakes because it's not being cooked, but it's the same thing. It's all binds up hard at the bottom, just like it did with this one. I've tried many times and I never have any luck with AP, which is why you never see me use it. So while the rough settlement is getting treated outside, this is what's left over from the gravity separation. So all the fine dust that you saw, that's just waste. That's just nothing. It's just the way the chips burnt. This is all the good stuff left over. Not sure how well you can see there. It's a bit black for my liking. I normally don't have a problem. I normally burn with jarrah wood or pine. If the fire goes down a bit, then I like to have a lot of flames up around my tin. I put some pine in there, but the majority of what burns is, it's for the coals and everything, is jarrah. But the wood that I'm using at the moment, I don't know what kind of wood it is. A friend of mine chopped down a tree and said, "Do you want all this firewood?" So of course I said yeah. It's hard to get started, and when it does burn, it smokes a lot, and I really don't think it gets hot enough. I've never had the settlement come out this black before. So I've got it on the stove on as hot as I can get it, and it's been on there for a day and a half. I just keep stirring it every so often, and I'm going to try and cook it some more. It's too hot to be outside. I can't have any fires because we're in a major fire restriction. Like, there's already out of control fires two ends of the city. We've had 13 houses lost, so you know, any smoke, they jump on it. Well, I would get a major fine if I had a fire going. So this is all I can do, is to try and cook it some more on here, and then I'll try the gravity. Then I'll try panning it and see what happens. If I can get this to go like a greyish colour, which is what I would prefer to be, then I know I've cooked it well. I might even put it through the rock crusher again. But if it stays black, well then that's just as good as it's going to get, I think. But I'm going to leave it on here for like 2 days or so. There's no rush because I've got to wait for the coarse sediment anyway. So that's what I'm going to do for now, is just cook this. See if I can get it to a light grey. I don't know what colour it's coming up on the camera, but to look at it here, it's black. So, alright, I'll just leave that going for it and come back when it's finished. Well guys, I've had it on for 5 hours and it's gone nice and grey. Let's see if I can tip it in the light. That's a lot better than what it was before. Bits of black in there now from the spoon, because I had the spoon sitting in like that and it all burnt on the end. But you can see when I stir it up, the residue on the spoon, look how grey that is. It's really turning out well. So I'm going to leave it on for the rest of the, not all night, but until I go to bed tonight. That's cooking away nicely. Well, I've had some really good comments from my viewers, because you guys are awesome, you really are. Even though I've been refining for 10 years or more, I haven't actually had a lot to do with AP because I don't like it. Every time I try and use it, I have this problem. So, one of my viewers, Matt Mike, whatever his name is, you know who you are, he suggested I put some more hydrochloric acid in there. I don't believe the strength of the acid was the problem because of the reaction I got. However, he said when he has this problem he puts more hydrochloric acid in, so I'm going to put some more in. I think that's about how much he said to use, and see if that works. I'll give it a stir, and then if that doesn't work, another viewer, I think from memory his name was Andrew, I think it's Andrew, I'll check. He said if this doesn't work, to take all the liquid out, let it oxidize, and then put it back in again. Well, this is baked hard in the bottom, just like it always does. I can't show you, but I can feel it with the glass rod. It's just baked hard, and that's what happens every single time I use AP. I can see some gold getting around down here. Just a second ago I was stirring it and I could see some gold. See if I can get it tapping again. Oh no, must have just been one little spot that I was working on. But I can turn it around in there, but it's still a mess. I'm going to just keep doing this for a while, see if I can separate it all. And this is why you don't see many videos of mine with AP. I really don't like it. What I'm going to do, unless more viewers come good with some information, after I've tried this and what Andrew said, if that doesn't work, I'm going to wash it out, filter it, and then I'm going to dissolve it with sulfuric acid. That'll do the job nicely. And what I would hope to gain from that as well, as a byproduct, would be either copper sulfate or iron sulfate, depending on what the pins are made of. If it's copper sulfate, all I have to do is put some steel wool in there and it will turn into iron sulfate. And if it's iron sulfate, well then great. Even though I've got 20 kilos of iron sulfate crystals, at least I would have a usable reaction from this instead of just having this mess. So I almost got a lump of it turned over. There we go. This big lump of rubbish here, look. This is what it goes like every single time. So we'll see if the extra hydrochloric acid does the job, and hopefully it does. And I'll come back to you later when I've tried that, see if I'll let that sit for a couple of days. This is over a week so far, by the way, since I started this, and it's going to take a while. That's another reason why I hate about AP, it just takes forever. So anyway, we'll try it and see what happens. It's been what, 4 or 5 days since I put the extra hydrochloric acid in, and as you can see, still a big, this is only part of it, there's lots in there, but still a big chunk of mess at the bottom. So it's not working. And also I got the names wrong, so I want to apologize. The names that I was talking about was Mike, not Matt. Mike, who suggested I put hydrochloric acid in, and it was Richard, not Andrew, who suggested I take all this out and let it oxidize. And this, I think AP is ridiculous. I hate it. Never works for me. I wish you could feel what it's like in here. Massive chunks of just crap. The only time it's ever worked is when I'm using AP for boards, to get gold off boards. As far as dissolving any kind of metal, no, it just doesn't work. Alright, so there's no point in me stirring this anymore, it's not doing anything. I'll start filtering it. Once I get it all cleaned up and I'll put sulfuric in, I'll come back. Okay, here's where we're up to so far. We've got the fine sediment, which I've recooked, and it's way too fine to go back through the gold trap. So I'm going to put it in my dolly pot over there, and just see if I can crush it some more, because I want to make sure I liberate any gold that's in there. There's no carbon, or there shouldn't be any carbon, only bits of broken, burnt stirring wooden spoon, which I showed you, and that'll come out in the gravity wash. If I can crush this down some more, I'll do another gravity separation. Any charcoal and bits will float off, and any ash, any fine sediment from when I'm pounding it, and I should be able to do another gravity separation, get it all sorted, and we can go from there. So that's that side of it. And then, you know, this side, the AP, man, it's doing my head in. It really is. So I said I was going to go to sulfuric acid, but firstly, I don't like being beaten, and secondly, I know a lot of my viewers don't like using nitric, or can't get hold of nitric, and or want to use as little as possible because it's so expensive. And I know a lot of you guys would like to see more AP videos, so I'm going to learn if it's the last thing I do. I've spoken to Mark. He's the one that said put some hydrochloric acid in. Now, he tells me some things that make a lot of sense. For that amount of solution in such a small space, it's a lot to ask for those pins to dissolve. And even if I was to put more acid, more of this AP into here, up to about there or whatever, it's still a small area. So, and to save all the boil over and everything, he suggests I put it in a 20-litre bucket, like these ones here, which I was using. So, that's what I think I'll do. Put it in a larger bucket, and then probably put some more solution as well. I might tip all of this in there. It's already got fresh hydrochloric acid in. I may even put some more, just to be sure. And that, hopefully, will sort the problem out. If after doing all that I still have big chunks, I'm going to try and break them up with a wooden spoon, but if I've still got a lot of pins left over after doing all that, then I'll try sulfuric acid, and then this can go back into the 20-litre bottle and stay there and rot, because I hate AP. I'll be so happy if I can learn this and get it properly sorted. I don't want to seem like another person I know who puts out videos and has no clue what he's doing. So you guys know that I'm learning, and I hope you will bear with me while I try and get this sorted. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave it here, call this part 2, and when I return, hopefully I will have some advances on this. Hopefully I'll have some luck with it, as well as we'll process or the next step of this. So thanks for watching for now. Please bear with me while I learn this. See you on part 3.